everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel CrackZat Turning Problems into Solutions. This is me Priyasha Das, and today I'm up with a video on para jumbles. Now, a very important section of all the MBA examinations, I must say, because para jumbles always forms one of the questions in the verbal sections. So today we'll be trying to understand how and what possible method should we take to accurately answer the para jumble questions, because it is some place where most of us feel uncomfortable. Okay, so we'll start with two questions. मेरे पहले question में you will find that I have come up with an example of the first and the last sentence given. Over here, if you see, the statement number 1 and the statement number 6 are the first and the last statements already mentioned. तो generally ये सोचा जाता है कि when the first and the last statements are mentioned, the solving process becomes a bit easier and you're actually able to frame the sentences much easily and faster. And ye sach bhi hai, this is right, that because of this two sentences the life becomes a bit easier. And if you see this passage also, it is more of a conversational type of passage. Log baatein kar rahe hain, and when people are talking it becomes easy to connect rather than talking about a very blank like subject like as of history. And I have also brought the second example, which is, you know, a very boring kind of an example which talks about some geographical things of Russia and quite historical in nature. Very boring passage without any starting and the ending lines, and we'll try to see how we can also answer the question accurately in those type of boring sets as well. And remember, all these two questions are from the ZAT PYQs, so you would get a, you know, the flavor of what you are going to expect in your examination. So let's start. Okay, so for the first question, we see that the first and the last sentence is already mentioned. The first sentence is, suppose I know someone Smith. So I'm going to start like this. Suppose I know someone Smith. And I'm going to end with, if we had a fair amount of evidence he was killed, I would try to make you say that you are being credulous. Okay, that means they don't have fair amount of evidence that he was killed. Okay, so just get a gist of it, that someone is going to talk about Smith now and he is going to end his sentence saying that there is no evidence that he has been killed yet. All right. Now, first and foremost, para jumbles comes with 5 options in ZAT, and if you are answering any other MBA examination, you will get 4 options. Now, what to do in the first case? In the first case, try to reduce the crowd of options by using option elimination. Now, just go through the options after one. After one, I have S. So, what is S? S says, I have heard that he had been killed in a battle in this war. Okay, sounds cool. You know someone Smith, and what do you know about him? That he has been killed in a battle. Sounds smooth to me, very much connected to me. So S can be the next line after one. Let's read R. Read it together. Okay, this is the process how we solve the parajumble questions. Read it together. If you have the first sentence, please read it together. And you know, if you are not having anything as well, this is the process. Now, whenever I do that, I always read it in pairs. If I read it in pairs, I get to know that this and this pair will work together. This and this pair will not work together. So let's read 1 and R together. Suppose I know someone, Smith, I would say, listen, that isn't sufficient evidence. Missing. One connection in between is missing. I cannot say I know someone called Smith and listen, that is not enough information. This is stupid. So I know that one can never be succeeded by R. And if one can never be succeeded by R, option B, and I should also tell you that my pencil icon is coming up. See here. Option E is also having 1RQ. So option E and option B are gone, all right, because they start with 1R, 1R. Now, crowd is less now. You have 3 options to decide from. So, game became easy. Now let's try another. We have P and Q to check. So let's check 1 and P together first. Okay, so I'll be checking 1 and P now. Suppose I know someone Smith. One day you come to me and say Smith is in Cambridge. Mm, sounds okay, kind of okay. Okay, we haven't connected it. Let's check Q. 1 and Q now. So if I check 1 and Q, suppose I know someone Smith. I inquire and find you stood at Guildhall and saw at the other end a man and said that was Smith. Wait a minute. You can't inquire about something until and unless the second person whom you are talking to have told you something about Smith. For example, 1 and P goes together for some time. You can say that. Why? Because at least you know Smith and someone comes and tells you something about Smith. So after he tells you something about Smith, you are going to ask back, right? That how do you know this kind of thing? So one Q cannot be our answer. So we will again eliminate option D, and now we are just left with two options. Wow. Now see, I'm explaining you this, so I'm taking so long time. But when you are doing it on your own, you're not explaining it to anyone. So you're just going to dharang, 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 cancel all the options at a very faster pace. So you will see that around 1 minute, in 1 minute only, you will be able to eliminate three options easily. And then you can just spend 30 seconds more to find out which option would really go best. Okay, one S or one P. Now let's read the full sequence of one P and the full sequence of one S. Okay, I'll start with one S, the first option. Suppose I know someone Smith. I have heard that he has been killed in the war. He has been killed in a battle in this war. After this, you would say that you come and say me that Smith is in Cambridge. Okay, so let's connect it in this way. The first sentence is you knowing about Smith. Okay, you know about Smith. So where should I write it? Let me write it in a proper manner. That the first sentence is the knowledge of Smith. Okay, the second sentence is what you know about Smith. Okay, this is important. So the second sentence P, or not P, here S, is telling you what you know about Smith. After what you know about Smith, someone comes and tells you about Smith. So this is telling about Smith. Okay, in a line, this is moving in a line. What does he tells you about Smith? That he saw Smith in Cambridge. After that, the sentence Q comes where you are inquiring how did you see him, or where did you see him, and this inquiry comes up. So after someone tells you something, only then you inquire. So sentence Q is inquire, which should come after P. Possible. Then R says, I would say, listen, that isn't sufficient evidence. Yeah. When will you give this line out? You will say this line only when he gives you an evidence, right? So inquiring, getting the evidence, and then saying a no is sentence R. You are saying this is not evidence, this is not sufficient, and then you would wind up saying that if you had fair amount of evidence he was killed, I would try to make you say that you are being credulous. So far, option A sounds to me perfect because it is moving in an order, talking about Smith. What do you know about Smith? Then the second person comes and tells you something about Smith. Then you inquire, where did you see him? What happened? After listening his reply, you reply back that this is not enough because there is no such evidence. Very much in line. Now we'll check if something is wrong with option C, then we can finalize option A. In option C, first thing, you know something about Smith, all right? The first sentence. So I'll take as this as Smith. So I'll write P here, 1P. You know something about Smith. Immediately you jump to a line that it isn't sufficient evidence. R, PR. PR can never make a group. Why? Because you just know about Smith, and then without having any information of where he was, where someone saw him, You're just coming up with a sentence that this isn't in, if enough of evidence. This is wrong. This is where the connectivities play an important role in parajumbles, and you will realize that option C is absolutely wrong, and therefore we will go with option A as our correct answer. So that's how we are going to move through these passages or these parajumbles, and we are going to finalize our answer. So first parajumble, super easy, done very nicely. Now the challenge is doing the second parajumble. Why is it a challenge? Because firstly, you don't have any starting or ending sentence to help you with. Second, the full, if I just mm, arrange it in the logical order, you will find that this passage is somewhere based out of Russian territories, the history of Russia, and the mountains of Russia. And you will be like, I'm least bothered about the geographical changes or the historical changes in Russia. But you have to cover up these things as well, in which you are not interested also. That's the exam actually. So, okay, coming to question number 2. Here we have to read the statements and arrange them in the best logical order. So, can we use our option elimination technique here? That's a valid question. But the thing is that you need to first read through. Now, when you have no idea about where you need to start from or where you need to conclude on, please, the first process is not option elimination, but the first process is to figure out either the starting sentence or the concluding sentence. And I'm going to tell you a very, childish trick to do that. The most childish trick which you can apply here is looking at the options and figuring out which number is being repeated the maximum times at any particular place. Like, I have in the first place, if I try to figure that out, I have 2 repeated in 2 options. So I'm not having much of an evidence to start with 2. But if I check the last number, I see 4 options concluding on statement 5. Now, that doesn't really mean that statement 5 will be the last sentence only, but at least it gives you a favorable hand to start checking option 5 first, because generally we waste a lot of time checking all the options, right? So instead of doing that, at least we can start with the 5th line and see if it really sounds like concluding. All right, so let's check that. For the 5th line, here the Russians encountered Islam in both its moderation and implacability. Okay, much of vocabulary, but yeah, see, it sounds that it is ending up, so it sounds correct to me. So let's read and get some information from the passage. Okay, let's read the passage and get some information. I have a fair idea that I have to end by 5. Okay, and I am not very much sure that whether I should start with a 2 or not. But because 2 has been repeated in 2 options, so instead of checking 1 first, I'll first check statement number 2. Haha, this is the trick. I know it sounds childish, but it will help you in in lots of questions. Okay, question number 2, like statement number 2. The Caucasus Range has throughout history held Russians, especially fierce nationalists like, I can't read this name, please pardon me, okay, in fear and awe. So this is the starting sentence talking about, like, let's just assume that it's a starting sentence. So you will be like, all right, it's talking about the Caucasus Range. That means mountains, right? Now let's try to eliminate. Let's try to check if 2 can really start the story or not. Okay. So let's check the option number 1, like the statement 1. This is Russia's Wild West. This this is an indicator that this statement number 1 is not the starting line, because anything saying that this is good or this is that will never ever be the first line. So the option having or starting with 1, that is option A, is seriously eliminated out. Okay, and you are now pretty sure that either it will start with a 2, or it will start with a 3, or it will start with a 4. Okay, now let's check the third statement. Here, comma, between the Black and the Caspian Seas is a land bridge where Europe gradually vanished amid a 600-mile chain of mountains as high as 18,000 feet, mesmerizing in their spangled beauty, especially after the yawning and the flat mileage of the steppe lands to the north. Description of something. Please understand. First, the word here, and second, these descriptions of, the mountains or the plains will definitely not be the first line. What I want to say is, will definitely not be the first line, because here they are describing something. Might be the Caucasus range only, which we thought of. Okay, but definitely not the first line. So which option will go away now? I know that option D starts with 3, 3, 1, 2, 4, 5. So option D will also be eliminated. Now we'll move across fourth sentence. Now, if this is gone, then of course option E will also be gone. Again, here, comma. Now, when we see here, we know these are concluding lines, never the starting lines. So here, since the 17th century, Russian colonizers have tried to subdue the congeries of proud people, and the example of the proud people are given like Chechens, Ingush, Ossetians, Dagestani. Oh, please, pardon me. Have some mercy. I cannot read these names. All right. So these are, again, here, example. We are not going to take an example as a starting line. So option E also gone. Now this clearly states the fact that we are left with only two options, B and C. Now, now you see B and C both starts with a 2 and ends with a 5. So now we have to use our logical connectivities to figure out how we can connect the first line, that is the Caucasus range, with the second line. Okay. So now I'll be just removing few things from here because I want to connect it. All right. And then after that we'll start. All right. So over here, the first sentence is definitely the Caucasus range. Okay, the first sentence is the Caucasus range. I need to describe the Caucasus range. Caucasus range is a mountain, ranges, mountain. Okay, which lines are talking about mountains? Please figure out that. Sentence number 1, I see a mountain here. Sentence number 3, I see mountains here. Can I see mountains in the fourth and the fifth line? No, of course, fifth line is the last one, so leave that. I cannot see 4 having any mountains or talking about any mountains. And if I check option C, please figure out option C. Option C tries to connect 2 and 4 together, which cannot be the condition. 2 and 4 can never be connected, because suddenly after talking about the Caucasus range, you cannot jump to the fact that in 17th century Russian colonizers were trying to subdue some category of people. This doesn't sound correct, right? So you can eliminate option C and then you will be left with only one option, that is option B. But because it's an explanation video, so I'll explain you how we are connecting it. Let's connect 2 and 3. First, I'm talking about the Caucasus range throughout the history of Russians, and then I'm describing the range. Where does this range flows from? It flows between the Caspian Sea and the Black Sea, forms a land bridge, and there are, steppe lands also connected. So this is talking about the Caucasus range. The third sentence is talking about where is it present, the geography. And after this mountain, I have another line about mountain. This is Russia's Wild West. What is Wild West? The plains, the rivers, the seas, and the mountains. This is the Russia's Wild West. So option statement number 1 talking about the Wild West. Okay, WW I am writing. All right. After that, I'll talk about that what the Russian colonizers have done and how they have encountered Islam. So only when I talk about colonizers, I talk about the effect on Islam and things like that. So this is what makes a continuous logical order. You see, I myself is little bothered about these Russian geography or these colonizers. But we can use simultaneously option elimination and figuring out the concluding sentence or the starting sentence, and using all these three things together at the same time, we can eliminate the options and get our answers. Sometimes you can be confused कि 2 के बाद 1 आएगा या 2 के बाद 3 आएगा, 3 and 1 दोनों में ही mountains है. But then you're not able to, like, you should not be worried about this fact, because in the options there is no confusion like that. आपको अगर 2 1 3 और 2 3 1 दिया होता, then you would have been confused. But it's not given only. Okay, so try to use the option elimination starting and ending lines together in such kind of questions where you're least bothered to understand the passage. All right. So with this, we come to the end of this video. If you found this video useful, please don't forget to like this video. Comment below and tell me what was the useful part. And of course, if you're new to this video, subscribe to the channel and please share it with your friends. I want this family to grow. And until I come up with the next video, please take care and thanks for watching.